Hello, all my beautiful people. How are we? I'm just going to ask that everybody make sure they are muted so we don't have any background noises. And if we have time for Q&A at the end, we can unmute and I will go. But what I'm going to do is let everybody in the waiting room come on in. We've got people filtering in. In the comments, I would love to know if you are a newbie to my world, if this is your first workshop, or if you're an OG and you've been around for a while. If you've been around for a while, let us know where you're at. If you're in Prox, if you're in Dominate, if you're in BTS, if you're just here in a pop-up, let us know below. I'm going to let everybody in, and then we're going to get started. We have lots tuning in today and lots on the actual replay. I know a bunch of people have sessions. This is recorded. So if you need to dip out at any certain time, we're going to try to keep this to an hour, but we know I can get chatty. It'll be posted in your portal if you're in Dominate, or posted to the WIN Facebook group if you are in just this workshop, okay? Miranda's an OG, new to Dominate. We've got BTS members. Yes, yes, yes. Hello, welcome everybody. I'm so excited. Let me go ahead and share my screen. You guys can hear and see me okay before we go further. Yes, I love it. Okay, amazing. So let me go ahead and pop this up here and we will dive right in. I'm gonna move this over here. We're gonna go full screen. I'm so super excited about this because basically what I've done is I've taken one of the most popular questions from Dominate and decided that we need a full-blown workshop on it because so many people were asking about it. So this is the WIN Marketing Timeline Workshop, and I feel like this is going to serve you for a really long time. So in the examples today, I have a calendar mapped out with the month of September simply because we are in September. I don't want you guys to take this literally. You can use this framework in any single month. So don't get caught up on the specific dates. We're going to utilize this as a framework so that you can use other things. So in the comments, I would love to know, scale of 1 to 10, how do you guys feel about launching? 10 is like you're super confident, you always know when to launch, you know what type of offer, you know that your audience is ready. 1 is no idea. You feel scattered, you feel lost. So where would you be at on that scale? Okay, we've got a 1, 6, 2, we've got some 8s, some 5s. A few more people are jumping in, so I'm just gonna let them roll in. We've got another 4, a 2. It never feels like the timing is great. Oh, this is gonna be perfect for that then. I'm so excited. I've got start at an 8 and then I drop to a 3. That's another good thing to point out is like you will fluctuate in all aspects of business, especially when it comes to launching timelines. You're never gonna feel the same, and that's perfect. So once you can get comfortable with the up and downs, you'll be way more confident in your business. Everything, I don't even want to say a roller coaster because it doesn't even have to be like a super high to a dramatic drop. Everything is just a wave. We ebb and flow. So, enough chatting from me. We are going to dive right in. I'm just going to make sure we're all muted. That way we don't have any background noises. If you guys can just press your mute button, that would be awesome. Amazing. Okay. Let's dig in. So before we can get into the why and the how and the what of the offer, we need to get into the win. And the first step is organization. And this will either make or break you. This is where people come to me and they're like, I have so many freaking ideas. I feel so excited. And then they freeze. Drop a comment. Have you ever done that? You have all of these like perfect ideas. You've got model call ideas, flash sales, you've got a bondage theme, you've got a wet set mini, but you don't know which one to go first. Yes, 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 I feel that. Yep. Okay. This is what I want you guys to do. We are going to get super, super comfortable with a brain dump and an organization because as much as we are free spirits, as much as we love to be our creative geniuses, we still need that structure. So the year that I gave myself a schedule and a timeline, I tripled my income. I changed none of my offers. I didn't change any of our pricing or anything like that. It was the year that I gave myself like strategic work hours and organization that really catapulted me. And I'm somebody who is very neurospicy and loves the chaos and loves the energy and like, don't tell me to work at a schedule. Don't tell me to work on a timeline. Like, I want to be a free spirit. But I'm telling you, if you can organize this crazy, chaotic, creative brain, it's going to help you. So I'm going to go through all of this, but this is just a rough outline for you guys. We're going to identify, create a timeline, and then we're going to do an audience check-in. Okay, Amanda says 10,000% yes. We like a mix of both. We love the crazy chaotic juices that are flowing, but we also love the structure to implement those. So I want you guys to, if you want to take notes, if you want to drop them in the comments, what are you planning to launch right now? Is it a group shoot for Halloween? Do you have, full sessions that you want to fill by the end of the year? Are you thinking solo sessions or couple sessions? Do you want to do a mini or a creative call or a model call or a giveaway session? Like, drop in the comments, let me know where we're at and what you guys want to utilize this workshop for, and we'll dig into that. So what's on your mind? And it can even be a few things. Halloween party and then Black Friday. I've got something on the calendar specifically for like a Halloween party or a Friendsgiving. This is going to be so good. I'm glad you're on. Creative call. Okay. So whatever you're doing, we just want to identify it. And then I want you to identify this workshop you guys have lifetime access to. So it's going to be really great for you to come back to and re-listen. Which ones are going to be, this is the timeline, a current offer, and which ones are going to be something down the road. We've got full sessions, just moved into our new studio. Amazing. Not sure, but I'm planning things for Q4. I love it. So the timeline situation, this is not the timeline for when to launch it. Yes, this is just a timeline for the organizational phase. So what you're going to do is brain dump every single idea that you have, like the Halloween party, a creative call, a last minute opening for October or maybe even September. And then I want you to give it a symbol or to give it a highlight of, is this a current offer? And what I mean by that is this something that you can get launched by the end of the year? Or does this feel like a big, like 40 over 40 project and it needs a little more planning and you want to launch it later on? Because what I see is an overwhelm of trying to do all of the things all at once. And not everything needs to be launched right here and now. But it also doesn't mean that we want to just ditch that idea, so we want to table it. So I want you to go through once you've created your map. And like I said, you can do this on your own time when you're in your launching zone. But does this feel like something you want to act on now? Or does this feel like a big dream? Well, it's gonna take some time. I'm working with some clients who are creating a podcast with like client testimonials. So after their session, they'll do like a podcast interview type thing. And that's definitely more of a down the road dream. So instead of freezing and stopping all of our cash flow and our bookings right now, we walked her through the process of like, let's table this and work on what we can do right now to build up that confidence before, we just focus on the big podcast dream. So does that make sense? Thumbs up of just analyzing, is this a now thing? Is this a big dream? Okay, perfect. The other thing is an audience check-in. Have you nurtured your audience? This is one of our main takeaways today, and I'm going to break it down. If you've been with me before, you've heard me talk about this, but I'll give you a brief rundown if you haven't heard these things. We have nurture techniques and warming up. I want you to think of every post you do on social media, you are wrapping your clients or you're wrapping your potential clients in a sweet, cuddly, warm blanket. And right now, there are some people in your audience who are standing in the middle of a blizzard in shorts and a tank top. And you are just yelling, buy my session, buy my session, buy my session. And what they really need is a warm blanket. So I want you to utilize that visual every time you go to social media. Are your people standing naked in a blizzard? They don't even have a tank top and shorts. They are just straight up naked in a blizzard because all we do is sell to them. And ask, would a boudoir session benefit them right now? Or do they need some connection? Do they need some nurturing? That literally came to me. I've never thought of a person in a blizzard as our cold audience, but it's a great visual and it's going to be a good reminder for what do I need to do? So on these next few pages, I have a ton of information on how we can nurture, and we talk about this in BTS, but this is our system of when to launch one of these big identifying ideas that we have up here. We've got to decide before we can launch it, what's the timeline? Is it a now thing? If it is a now thing, what's our audience? Are they interacting? Are they engaging? Are they responding to us? So this is like your 3-step checklist. Super easy. Identify our ideas. Decide if you want to act on it now or act on it later. How much effort is it going to take? How much prep? How much energy? And then let's identify where our audience is, okay? So identify. I want you to brain dump it all. The theme, the topic, the type of launch. In the comments, let me know, is your audience more adrenaline based or nurture based right now? And if you're not sure, just hang tight and I'll do a brief overview. But right now, as we get ready to wrap up quarter 3, head into quarter 4, what has your audience been leaning towards? Adrenaline based offers like a flash sale, or are they responding better to nurture based offers like a model call? Let me know in the comments. Because depending on where your audience is, that's going to guide us on when we can launch. Okay, we've got a nurture. There's another nurture. A little bit of both. So with your brain dump, we're going to make 4 lists, and you're going to have niche, broad, adrenaline, and nurture. These can overlap, and they will. So you're either going to have a niche or a broad, or an adrenaline or a nurture. So for example, if we have Halloween sessions. Let's just say we've got a spooky Halloween session. This would be a very niched offer because it's not like your entire group of 3,000 people want a Halloween session. So it's not a broad get butts and seats. It's a niche specific. I want to know, you want to know, is your audience going to respond as an adrenaline base, like flash sale? Here is one session for a spooky setup, or nurture based, which would be, who wants to be my spooky queen? I'm looking for one creative vision to bring my ideas to life. Come be my mummy muse, or whatever, however you're doing that. Nurture in the past, however, neither have worked this year, so I'm open to trying either. This is perfect, Sam, because as we go through this, one of your like to-do list or checklist for identifying when to launch is to look at your buyer behavior analysis. And that's going to be testing both options. A bit of both, but most are attracted to nurture. That's our audiences. Our audience leans very nurture based. They like the application. So with a niched offer like this, you could definitely do a model call application based, like niched Halloween offer. If you have a broad offer, a really good example of a broad offer would be like a 30 over 30 of 40 and fabulous, anything age wise, that's still broad enough, but a birthday model call. Every single person on the planet has a birthday. So that would be broad. And it's not too niche down where somebody's going to be like, I do not want to be dripped in fake blood or have skulls on my head with cobwebs or whatever. You could see where some people are like, that's not my style. So you first want to identify. Remember, we're still only in the identify step. Is it niche or broad? Is it adrenaline or nurture? So there's some background information. And we want to make sure you do this every single launch. So if you want to launch a model call, even if you've done 50 model calls in the history of your business, do this list again and be like, what do I need right now? Do I need butts and seats? If so, you're going broad. Do you just need a few bookings to fill the rest of your year? Then go niched, okay? Serve, serve, sell. This right here is your framework, and we're going to get super duper in detail with this because I'll scroll through. Here's our timelines we're going to get through in the middle of this. I'm going to go back, but just to give you guys an idea. I made a Facebook and an Instagram post about this today. If we're not serving our audience, we're not selling, because selling is just connecting. We don't just want to sell at them all day long, because they're going to get drowned out. Remember, that's the naked person standing in the blizzard. It's us just selling and selling and selling. And here's a last minute opening. Just kidding. Here's a guinea pig session. Oh, wait, I've got Christmas minis coming up or whatever it may be. There's a lack of connection and a lack of relationship building. So when you come to me and you're like, when should I launch this? I want to do a scholarship session that we talk about in BTS. And I'm going to say, well, when's the last time you've served your audience? And this is where we get to get super clear and concise. And it's so easy. It's easy. It's serve, serve, sell. 3 things. You don't need to serve for 6 months straight before you sell anything. You're a business. You want to be selling a lot because that's how you make money, but you want to be sprinkling in that connection. We need to build relationships and interact with our audience members. And this also, I have a test for you when you guys are done with this workshop. Go to your Instagram, go to your Facebook page, and I just want you to do like 5 or 6 finger scrolls and see how many comments you haven't responded to. This is a hack. See how many comments, even if that comment is just, yes, queen, she's gorgeous, amazing. I want you to respond. I want you to respond. Take 5 minutes a day, do the hyperaction, and respond to that comment because we are leaving money on the table. And it seems mundane and it seems pointless and it seems like, oh, like they're not even commenting anything. Not everybody's going to be a paying client with money. You are going to have some clients who pay you in engagement. We're going to call this energetic escrow. So if you can switch in your brain of like, oh, this comment means nothing, she's just dropping emojis, to, oh my gosh, thank you so much, stranger on the internet. I know you might not be able to ever afford my prices, but you're one of my top contributors, and that means a lot. That is serving. Our audience will eventually stop responding to us if they never get a reaction, if they never get a response. And I want you to think about that. It's almost as if you're like they start to feel like the clingy girlfriend of like, yes, I love it. Oh my gosh, Kira, your studio's so beautiful. These are amazing. I love that light. And you just like the comment or you don't respond at all, they feel like they're talking to a brick wall. Don't let them feel like the needy girlfriend. Go thank them. This is going to do one of 2 things. 1, it's putting your name in their notifications. It's making them feel appreciated and heard. And 2, it's bumping your post in the algorithm. So respond, build the relationship. I don't care if it's your Aunt Susan, your Aunt Sally down the street who's never going to have a boudoir session with you. If you respond to her comment, it's going to bump it in everybody else's feed too. So I hear a lot of times like, oh, that's just my brand ambassador commenting. I don't care. Go respond to her as if she's a client that's about to buy. Even if she's already done a million sessions and they get paid to comment for you, respond back. Okay. So there was my tangent on responding and creating relationships. Now let's actually get into this slide. There are 2 types of serving your audience. We're going to have a small serve, and this can lean towards like a release thread of like, hi guys, I'm holding space for you. Who needs to get something off your chest? Put it in the comments below, and you're just giving them a safe space to talk about things. We talk a lot about this in BTS of like ways to serve. Another small serving post for a small offer. This could be like a last minute opening or a quick niche. I want you to think small offers that don't require you to build out a whole landing page, that don't require you to prep for weeks at a time. Does anybody have an idea of a small offer that they can drop in the comments? Is anybody running a last minute opening right now? Or is anybody going to do like a pop-up ladies day or anything like that? Small serves like this are going to be really good just to hype the group enough, or your Instagram audience or your TikTok, wherever you're at, before you drop that opening. Let's see, what do we have? The spooky event at my studio, that's perfect. There's lots of spooky events going on. I love that. So this would be perfect because obviously a ticket to an event is going to be a lower ticket than a $3,000 session with you. So what I would do to hype your group for a small offer is doing that like release phase, doing the drop a selfie, and I'll tell you which area of the studio would fit your vibe. That's not you doing anything grand or crazy, but it is you making them feel special. It is you taking time to look directly at them and give them a personalized answer. Now, if we're doing a big broad offer, if you're doing a big Black Friday sale, that's around the corner. If you're doing a passion project, which is like, 40 over 40, our studio is doing the angel reclamation this year with all the different angel wings, and we're creating a calendar out of each angel for our 2025. You want to do a big serve, okay? Does that make sense? So like smaller serves for smaller offers, bigger serves for bigger sales. And a big broad offer serve would be a 3-day workshop. So before my group got shut down in July, we did the self-love boot camp. And every day for 3 days, I went live, served my audience. It was amazing. This could be something of monetary value. So like a coffee gift card, you get $100 gift card, put it in your group. People buy coffee on you. This could be an online ladies night. So like a tarot reading for your ladies or your group. So big offers that are more intensive require big serves, big nurturing. Okay, simple enough. Serve, serve, sell. Depends on if you've got a small or a big audience, a big offer. This is what you guys want. This is why you're here. You're here for a timeline. Let's get in. All right. Here's your roadmap of business marketing timeline. Now, again, at the beginning of this, I told you that the dates are irrelevant. You can use this all year round. I simply did this because this is where we're at as I'm teaching live, okay? So September 9th, this would be an amazing time to do a small serve thread, okay? So in your group, give them, like I was saying, that easy like release thread, event thread. If you need to get something off your chest, I want you to drop it here. Let me hold space for you. Let me listen to you. You can call it the bless and release thread. You can call it the fuck it thread. Like, what are they throwing out the window? They don't need it anymore. Whatever vibe your audience is, you want to strategically plan this. So I know we've talked about things like this in BTS, but never to the degree of when to post them. If you're just willy-nilly out here dropping these things, we're not using them to the advantage. So when you pair the serving with a specific timeline, you're going to have a bigger impact. So if you look, we are going to be launching something on 9/12. So on 9/9, 3 days prior, we are serving. So you're going to drop the serve thread that like, let me hold space for you, a small offer on the 9th. And then on the 10th, I want you going back and responding to comments. So we're going to drag out the impact of the serve and it will continue to bump them in the thread. That makes sense, right? So utilize this. We want to milk it basically. So that's going to be our step one. We're going to be like, yes, I'm interacting with my group. I'm getting things done. I'm having conversations. When you do a release thread like this or whatever you want it to be, people get very vulnerable. I had a woman who was the main caregiver for her, like her father. And she was like, I hate to even say this, but I feel like I'm drowning. Of course, I want to help my dad, but I feel like I have no life. I cannot breathe anymore. And she had nowhere else to say this. She couldn't post that on her public Facebook with all of her relatives. She didn't want to sound whiny, you know what I mean? But that was so important to her. And my group backed her. They were so uplifting and supportive. Like, let your people feel safe. So one, it's creating hella engagement for you. Two, it's making your people feel so loved and nurtured. Three, it's a way to serve your audience before you blast them with another sale. I'm going to read the comments. Yes, Randlin, same with what I'm doing with my grandparents. I love this. I'm hoping to do a Friday the 13th sale. Yes. Also, if you guys haven't looked up the original origin of Friday the 13th, it's something to do with like the dark feminine power, and it's not like spooky and scary like history has made it out to be. I did that last year and I did a $113 session fee on Black Friday. And it was or not Black Friday, but on September the 13th, and it was amazing. So that's your first serve. So you can see that that's on 9/9 and 9/10. And then on 9/12, you're going to do another little serve. And this is you're just gonna drop a Spotify playlist. You guys don't have to do this actual thing each time. You can mix and match. The key is it's just another serve. So I would go drop my favorite, like, hot girl Spotify playlist, self-love playlist, but the key to this is pair it with a question. So be like, "Hey guys, I created us a playlist in here to get your vibes up. What's your favorite song? I want you guys to listen to it, and what's your favorite song?" Creating engagement for your audience. If you guys don't do Facebook groups and you do Instagram, have this be a question box in your stories that they can, like, submit their answer, and this is gonna be so good. Easy Spotify playlist, little interaction, makes them feel special. You can see the pattern here. It's simply us nurturing our audience. So that's 9 on September 11th right here, and then September 12th, you're dropping your sale. This is your niched last-minute opening, okay? Because it was 2 small serves paired with a small niched offer. It's minimal prep work, but you got your engagement up and you were serving your audience in a small but impactful way. You can see how each of these are things that we should be doing in our groups already, but if you strategically plan them and don't just blast them all at one time, it's going to work more in your favor. Now, 9/12 to 9/16, I do have this going through the weekend. That doesn't mean you have to push it hard on the weekend. It's just because I wasn't gonna close it, I'll let it sit open if it hasn't booked yet. If you book it and there's only one spot, obviously close it. But this way, people are seeing it, they've got the time for it to pop up in their algorithm, and while you're launching this, you go back and you go re-comment on your to serve post, okay? So you launch the offer, you hype those up because you've done your serve, and then you're selling. I want to add in, because I don't want you guys to take this so literally that you're not posting anything else. You're not just posting once a day, the serve thing. I want you filling in with your regular boudoir sneak peeks. I want you filling in with your real life relatable content. So if I was dropping my Halloween things, and I have a session that day, I would also share behind the scenes of that session. Does that make sense? Don't just post these one post, blend it in with your regular marketing, your organic marketing. But that way, when you go to drop this offer, and this should be a Friday, let me check. No, Thursday, Friday. Um, Most people over the years, here's the excuse that we've gotten is, "Oh, I don't get paid until Friday." So if you're doing a short launch, I would start it on, like, a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, so that those people who are like, "Oh, I don't get paid until Friday," you'll be like, "Okay, it's Friday." And if you're doing phone consults and they're like, "I don't get paid until next Friday," you could ask to take their card number over the phone and say, "No worries, I can charge it next Friday for you." And if they're serious, they'll be like, "Absolutely, yes." And if they're just BSing you, they'll be like, I don't know." And then you'll know that they just need an easy out. So there is a little framework for a niched offer. And then the next day, let's go. What timeline do I have here? 9/16 to 9/22. This is a whole week. Right after you sold something, this whole week right here. Nope, too far. Organic marketing. You're not selling anything. Um, yeah, do that because I fucked up and did it and lost a bunch of bookings. Yeah, Allison, we've talked about this. So ask for their card number over the phone if you guys do that. What if we mostly let die our Facebook group and we're I think you meant shadow banned, and Instagram? How much time in advance should we start to revamp them? That's just gonna depend on what your audience is doing. So if it is really, really dead, I would do the momentum building strategy in BTS where it says you're gonna go live for 6 weeks. So once a week for 6 weeks in a row, that's a great hack. Does it require effort? Yes, it does. Is it worth it? Yes. So going live, sharing lots of testimonies. You can go do archive marketing where you go rehype old comments and go rehype like old Instagram posts, but definitely go live, especially on Instagram, because when you go live, it notifies all of your followers. So it would say, like, Kiara Josette is live. They could go watch the broadcast. It gets you back on their feed. Even if they only click that for like 12 seconds to watch that live video, you are now at the top of their feed, which means your stories are going to show up first, which is great. So, all right, organic marketing for that full week after you launch your niched offer. This is gratitude posts celebrating all the babes who booked in. So it's like, yes, Miss K just took our spooky session. I can't wait to create, this Halloween spectacular for her. This is pre-education time. So say you did a niche offer that had multiple spots, you're now pre-educating on your most popular collection. You're not speaking to the newbies the week after you launch. You're speaking to the people who just booked in. So this is where I would share your goal collection album. So for me, it's my Indulge. I'd be like, this is my Indulge collection. Everybody gets this. It has the most favorite bonuses. So pre-educating on your most popular bonuses, sharing testimonials of people who love those albums, and just regular boudoir marketing, okay? That's what you're doing for that next week. Give it a breather. Now, this is going to depend heavily on your business. Um, and I did a workshop back in April called Launch Lust, which works through the types of like archetypes. If you are more of like a projector human design and you like slow launches and slow nurturing, I would do this for 2 weeks. Spread it out. But if you're more of like a generator or a management and you have those fiery energies, or you really want butts and seats and you're ready to go, give it a week before you start the serve, sell again. So many people these days have TikTok brain. They forget and they need something new, which is why it's so important to switch up our offers. Don't just launch a model call every 3 months. They're going to get bored of that. They're going to get bored because we have TikTok brain. We want instant gratification. We want something new. We want something exciting. So this is why we kind of have this serve, sell framework that we can flow into. And maybe one, we do a niche offer, one, we do a broad. As long as you're not doing two back to back, you're good. So the key is serve, sell, and mix up the offer. It could be, I want you guys to hear me out. This is so important. This might be the most important part. It could be the same price. It could be a $199 session fee and $300 off collection. It could be the same offer, price-wise, positioned differently. So this could be a $199 session fee for your spooky Halloween niched offer that we're doing on September 12th. And then come next week, I'll show you here in a second, it could be a broad birthday model call positioned as a $199 session fee and $300 off collections. It's the same amount of money, but it's speaking to different people. You don't have to come up with a million new offers per se. You just have to get really secure and strengthen your positioning of it. That's why in Dominate we have that positioning module, and it's like, here's all the different ways you can structure one offer to make it look new, to make it look shiny. That's why we have the brand amp training in Dominate. That's like, you want to stop their scroll in the feed. You don't want all of your things to look the same. If you guys have testimonials from clients, don't put it on the same Canva graphic every time. Sure, it looks aesthetic on your Instagram feed, but it's going to glaze right over the eyes of your clients, okay? So 916 to 922, we're doing organic marketing. It's back to regular business. You guys know how to market your business. 923 is a major serve. You're doing a Facebook Live session with a client. If you don't have a client you can do this with, go schedule in a BFF to come over. So your audience who's standing out cold in the blizzard, they start to walk into the desert. They grab their coat, they're walking in, they're coming closer. They're like, wow, I see them working. I see them doing a shoot with a client. This is interesting. They stop and they watch your Instagram live or your Facebook live, and they watch you in your craft doing your thing. And then that's going to trigger their algorithm to say, oh, I am interested. What is going on? Make sure you're in like a Facebook safe outfit and you don't get banned or anything like that. But this is huge. If you have a big, broad offer coming up, schedule yourself a Facebook Live. If you can do one once a quarter, a Facebook Live, if you can't, just go rebump your old one. There is no harm, no foul in rebumping your old one. But if you want like a really good zhuzh, Facebook Live. If you can't get a client, you can't get a BFF, go selfie. If you're like, I don't want a selfie, keep your clothes on and just walk yourself through it. There's absolutely no excuse. There's some way, somehow you can do it. Better yet, run to your local Lowe's and get yourself a skeleton. We did this 2 days ago, and do a skeleton shoot, especially if you're launching a spooky offer or a Halloween night or something. Do a live session posing the skeleton, and then ask your clients or your group or whatever to comment. Be like, "Once we hit 50 comments, I'll post the sneak peeks." Ask for the engagement. So there's your big serve. Ideally, this would be with a client, and that's on 9/23. So on 9/24, you're doing a coffee giveaway serve. So not as energetically massive as the Facebook Live, but something of value. Coffee gift card or a random Venmo giveaway, an Amazon gift card, whatever it may be. Maybe you have a collab with a local business. You could do that right then and there. So you can see our pattern here. We're setting ourselves up for our serve Facebook Live the next day, serve coffee giveaway, boom, sell, launch your broad offer. Now, if you scroll back, our last sell was on September 12th, and then our next one is on September 25th. In terms of your audience, that's a really long time. They've forgotten about your business. They don't even remember your last launch, which is great. This is why it's important when people are like, it's Thursday. Let's pretend. They're like, I just launched a last minute opening on Monday. Can I launch a model call today? I want to make sure that you've done your 2 serves and given yourself enough time to kind of reset. Now, if you backed out of your launch and you were launching a last minute opening or a Halloween session, you were like, I shouldn't have done this. Let's just kill the launch. It wasn't good. Sure, launch something else. If it was a flop and you pulled the trigger and you cut it off early, no big deal. But if you truly went through with a full launch, I would give yourself some space, okay? So you're selling your broad offer from the 25th through the 27th. So this is going to do all your normal stuff. Do your frameworks for, sharing testimony, sharing sneak peeks, or magnetic marketing, speaking to that client. Sell those spots as big as you can. And then again, back into organic marketing, behind the scenes of your studio, more testimonials. This is a great time to share blogs from your website, getting people creeping around your website, non-specific things that are just good to know, relatable content for around you. So this is what within a month of each other, and you can see how each serve is different, each sell is different, and you're speaking to different clients. How many times per day should you post in your Facebook group and on Instagram? There is no rule for that. Nobody can tell you to post 6 times a day or 15 times a day. There is no magic number. It's whatever you can get your point across in a great way. Here's the thing, people are like, tell me what day to post a launch and tell me how many times to post it. Nobody can sit here and tell you that because it's going to be completely different for every single type of business. So if you know that your clients tend to do better with these long posts, maybe you only need to post twice a day. If you're doing a Facebook Live and 3 shorter statuses, maybe you want to show up more. My rule of thumb, if I'm thinking about it, I'm posting it. So in my group, if I'm in the middle of a launch, I'll have like my announcement post scheduled, and then I will go into random whatever my thoughts are. If I'm like thinking about this or I'm working at the studio, I'm like, this would be great for the angel reclamation session. If you're hardcore in the middle of a launch, if I had to put a number on it, I think 5 times a day would be sufficient. Like, if you are doing a full-blown launch, that is what our framework says in Dominate. If you're trying to fill, like, a last-minute opening, I would do 5 times a day. Now, that doesn't mean it has to be 5 times about that offer. That just means you're showing up 5 times. So that could be, like, a good morning post, everybody set your affirmation. That could be a mid-afternoon post talking about the offer. It could be a client sneak peek, another reminder, and then right before bed offer. It doesn't mean you have to be on your phone all day, every day, and it certainly doesn't mean that you need to post 30 times a day just for people to get it seen. But you'll be able to feel it out, and you'll be able to start to recognize, like, what are they responding to? And if you're pairing it with these serves, then your engagement is going to be coming up. Now, the thing with the serve is you want to make sure you're asking them to do something. You're asking them to comment, you're asking them to share your favorite, you're asking them to take a selfie with the coffee that they bought. So asking for it. Okay, so we launched a broad offer on the 25th, 26th, and 27th. And then on the 28th, 29th, and 30th, we're doing organic marketing. And you're looking at this date and you're going, oh my gosh, you just launched something on the 27th. And on October 1st, you're already launching something else with no serving in between. An in-person event is a serve and a sell at the same time. And you can launch it next to something else. I'm going to throw this up here. There we go. Because it's a lower ticket. So look, October 1st, we're announcing an in-person event. We're going to start selling tickets and hype for a Friendsgiving party in November. This works because an in-person event is a much lower investment. We're not trying to sell multi-$1,000 sessions to them right after doing it 3 days ago. And it's an easy yes. And you need enough time to pre-educate them for an in-person event to make plans. So this is a great time to pair after a big broad offer. You can pair an in-person event because it's a low ticket cost, probably $10 to $40, and it's a sandwich. We're going to call this the in-person sandwich. So what I like to do is I like to do a broad offer and then announce an in-person event, and then after the in-person event, announce another broad offer. So this in-person Friendsgiving could be at the beginning of November, which would set us up beautifully for a Black Friday launch, which is going to be a very broad sale or model call or whatever. And all of those people who came to your Friendsgiving at the beginning of November are going to be so obsessed with you, so in love. They're so excited because they just came to your studio. They just came and hung out with you. Boom. Now they're booking a session on Black Friday. Does this make sense? Sandwich your in-person events right after a launch and right before one. This way you're using the in-person event as a way to sell and get, ticket money, but as a way to serve in between your offers. So again, a lot of people do in-person events, but are you strategically positioning them on the timeline in a way that's going to support your next launch? We want to be reverse engineering this, which I'll walk you through here in a second. And then from October 1st, after we launch this in-person events, to October 15th, we're just organically marketing. You're prepping for your in-person events, you're popping up ticket sales, you're doing your regular, here's my beautiful babes, you're doing your subconscious marketing, your magnetic posts that just get people in their feels. I'm scrolling comments. Is a monthly event too frequent? I also plan on doing a little Christmas party. Now I think I need a November event in between spooky and Christmas. Normally I would say yes, but this time of year, people are going to be busy. So if they can't come to the October one, fill them in with a Friendsgiving. You could combine, I would probably combine the Friendsgiving and the Christmas and do an ugly Christmas sweater Friendsgiving party. So it's like the best of both worlds. I will say in-person events, I'm in the United States. I don't know where everybody else is. Sometimes December events are very hard to run because people are doing like early Christmas parties with their family. They've got excuses that they're too busy. They're trying to shop for kids. So I would maybe combine. Ooh, you love that idea. Amazing. So that's what I would do. Halloween is a great one. And then Friendsgiving is a fun one too. It's insane that you're this brilliant. Oh my gosh, thank you. It's a chaotic place up in here. But it works really well in business. If I were to turn my camera around, it's just a pile of clothes and a chaotic mess in the rest of my life. I saw a meme the other day that was like, when I'm walking around with my husband, I couldn't tell you which way is up or down or anything because I just rely on him. I'm like a blind puppy. I'm like, yeah, I don't know where we're going or what we're getting at Kroger. I could be walking through the aisles, but I can tell you what I'm launching next. And I can tell you what we've done in sales and what everybody else's business is doing. So it's a balance. It's, a mix of things. But yeah, that's what I would do. I would do ugly Christmas sweater party in November as Friendsgiving, and then I would not call your Black Friday sale a Black Friday sale. I would call it the gratitude give back. And it could be a model call, but not really. They would apply for the session and they would receive a discount. This could be the scholarship offer that we've talked about in BTS. So calling your Black Friday like a gratitude give back event right after the Friendsgiving, play off that theme, that could go really, really well. You guys, we're doing it. We're doing good. 2:45. Okay, so the timing. This is your October buyer behavior analysis. If you don't know if your audience responds to nurture or adrenaline-based offers, use September and October or whatever month you're doing this, whatever month you're starting this serve, sell thing as a way to track and measure, collect the research and the data. The best way to do this is sometimes I will launch an offer. Let's say we're doing birthday model call because that's broad and easy. I know I've used that, so let's just go with it. The first week you're launching it, let's launch it with an application base, see how many applicants you get and how many book from applying for the offer. And then that next week, launch the birthday model call again with a flash sale link. They don't have to apply for it, they just click and buy. This way, on that third week, once both launches are closed, again, it's the same offer. You can measure how many came from a nurture-based application and how many came from an adrenaline. And you will either see that the application worked best or the adrenaline worked best. Or you'll see that they're even and you can just kind of do what feels fun. So that is how I would track your buyer behavior. Do the same offer back to back in 2 different formats. And you're not going to confuse your audience. If anything, they're going to see it the second week and be like, yes, this is my chance. I didn't take the leap last week. Here we go. Ta-da, you are their sign from the universe. Here's a quick tip. You are somebody's manifestation. And I want you to sit with that. You are somebody's manifestation. They have been manifesting the urge to do something amazing. They have been manifesting the urge to like feel confident, to love themselves, and you are their answer. So show up and sell. Because how shitty are you going to feel if you're supposed to be somebody's manifestation and you didn't step up as a leader and sell your offer because you were afraid of annoying your audience? That's a side tip, but it wanted to come through. You're somebody's manifestation, which means you owe it to your clients to sell. Here's what we were all looking for, right? Allison said that hit me so hard. We do thrive in chaos over here. I certainly do. You can see, I'm going to minimize our faces. There we go. Here's everything that we just went through on the timeline. So the release thread, giving your audience space to connect. You feel into the community. You're serving for a leader for 2 days. Then you're dropping your favorite Spotify playlist. Then you're selling your niched offer until this Monday. Oh, Milena, you're so welcome. It was something that really hit me. The version of like, oh, am I going to be too annoying? Like, no, they are literally waiting on you. You are their answer. The universe put you in their path. This isn't about us. This isn't about us. Yes, we get paid. And yes, it's our job, but this is now for your people. People have been waiting on you. So I love a calendar layout like this. You can see the black is a niched offer. And then this full week, we're doing pre-education, testimonials, regular launching, or regular offers. This is just a random weekend. You don't even need to do anything. Facebook live session, coffee giveaway, bam, launch your broad offer. It sets you up for so much engagement and goodness. Now, look at your September calendar. Your October is going to be pumped because you've done so many serve, sells. You've set it up. You've had 2 different areas. I want you to not get discouraged. If you don't sell many from your niche offer and from your broad offer, that is okay. Because come October, whatever you launch then, or in November, they're going to be primed. You literally cannot fail a launch. You cannot fail a launch. You're simply gathering data and prepping them for when they say yes. Even if it's a no right now, it doesn't mean a no forever. I have had clients, I had one lady who applied for 7 things over the course of 2 years. Every model call I'd launch, every whatever. She kept applying, never bought. And when I would see that I got an application and it was the same lady again, I'd be like, oh, cool. It doesn't even really count because she never buys. She booked one time, spent $5,500. She finally booked. And I was like, oh, this is such a good reminder. Even if it's a no right now, it's not a no forever. So if you get no's during these launches, it's not that it didn't work. It's just that you're building momentum, and that's perfect. You can see here, this is where you announce your in-person event. And you start hyping for Friendsgiving, and then October is just filled with like prepping and sharing sessions and getting ready for Black Friday. So, how does this feel? Does this feel good? Do you guys like this? Is a visual helpful? Good before we move on. So, I want to kind of disprove the belief that, like, oh God, it's already September. We can't sell anything because we're waiting on Black Friday at the end of November. That's so much time. That is so much time. Nobody is thinking about your business like you are. So please don't not sell until Black Friday because it's only 2 months away. In terms of selling, that is so much time. Look how many ways we had just to launch in September alone. So don't get yourself into this trap of like, I can't do this. I wouldn't do the same offer. If you're doing a gratitude give back in November, don't do one in September, but don't trap yourself into blocking the cash flow. Okay, Sam says, yes, this is perfect and seriously addressing so many mental blocks I have. It's okay, it's conditioning. We've been conditioned to think that like we can only launch Black Friday and our semi-annual sale once a year. And yes, that used to work in 2017 and 2018, but now buyer behavior and consumer patterns, not just in the boudoir industry, but overall, have changed because of TikTok brain, because of social media. People are fast paced. Boudoir is more normalized. Like, don't let your audience forget about you because you're quiet until it's time to sell on Black Friday. So, here's an option. Again, not every month has to look like this. You could do a broad offer at the beginning of the month and then serve in the middle and not do anything until the end of the other month. But this is your framework. It's serve, serve, sell. And before you go to launch something, I want you to go back and look at, okay, what have I done? What do I need to do? Do I need to go serve some more? Do I need to go connect some more? Do I need to go ask my past clients to post some testimonies to get them to serve the group? You can totally do that too. But this is going to be a really good way for you to set yourself up so that you don't feel like you're launching every day. And then I want you to challenge yourself on these weeks where it is free education, regular organic marketing to truly do that and not just throw out a last minute opening from scarcity because you're like, oh my God, nobody's inquired in 4 days. 4 days is nothing. Calm down, chill out, don't throw out an offer from scarcity, make your marketing map. Here is our checklist. I don't know why. Apparently, I didn't delete this. It's not supposed to be the Canva infographic. That's this really great site. So ignore that. It's only supposed to be these three checklists. Sometimes there will be more days and weeks in between an offer than the other time. And sometimes there'll be more back to back. It truly depends on your audience engagement and your flow of serving. So, literally, what I just said, if you have two ideas and they're back to back and you're doing buyer behavior analysis, yeah, they're going to be right after each other. That's fine. Sometimes you're going to have a month of serving. If you have no openings and you don't have any bookings left for the rest of the year, this is where we're at. We're in a season of just connecting, building relationships, regular organic marketing. That's totally fine. Just know that you can change it at any point in time. So if we flip back, you don't have to follow this calendar every month. I actually recommend you don't, because then your clients are going to be like, yep, she launches a sale every 12th of the month. Don't do that. This is just an example. Okay, I got to take a drink. I'm chatty, sorry. So timeline, there's nothing specific. There's no specific date. You don't have to launch on the 5th. You don't have to launch on the 15th. The number of the day truly doesn't matter. I would try to have your offer available on a Friday because it feels like a lot of people do get paid on Friday. So strategically speaking, that would be smart. Nurture and adrenaline. Create a variety in your offers. See which sells best. So don't just do nurture, 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 nurture. Or maybe you do and you throw in an adrenaline and you're like, holy shit, my audience is adrenaline now. So if you feel things getting stale, that's a sign saying they might have flip flopped. Our audience does flip flop. We'll have a 6-month period where they respond to model calls, and then I throw out a flash sale and boom, 4 bookings instead of just the 1 application. So you never know. Don't be afraid to switch it up. Okay, comments. I kind of half-assed launched my last 7 spots of the year. If I start Monday with the serve, serve, sell, should I just kind of relaunch it or push it again next week? Let me read this. Do I keep mixing it in with the serve, sell? Am I making sense? I have a long launch for my 30 and beyond if I should still put some serves. Yes, okay. Allison and Emma are both in procs, so I know their businesses really well, so I can answer this confidently. So if you're confused, it's okay. Allison, I would restart. You could leave your post up that you've already made. If you guys feel like you half-assed a launch currently, like you're in one today, don't delete your post, but you can totally just pause them and get into like a serve flow and go get your engagement up and go rebump a Facebook Live if you need to, and then kind of re-announce it on Monday since today's Friday. That's totally fine. And then Emma, you're doing a longer launch. So Emma's doing a like 30 and thriving and beyond passion project. So this requires normally a longer launch and a lot more effort because it's not just like a one and done. So Emma's going to organically market. She's going to continue on with her regular post, but any of her subconscious or magnetic marketing posts where you're like speaking to the divorcee or the tired mom, where you're really getting in the feels, I want your call to action to be the 30 and thriving. Okay. So yes, Emma, you're throwing in the serve post, you're throwing in those connections. I would lean heavy on the connection post. And then your call to action for all of your quote unquote organic marketing is going to be sign up for the 30 and thriving. Does that help? Does that make sense? Perfect. Got it. Okay, that's what I needed to hear. Start over. Got it. Thanks. You're welcome. I tell this to our mastermind people in procs all the time. And they probably hate me saying it, but I'm like, you can't fuck up your business. Betsy's always like, is that a good idea? Should I do this? And I'm like, you can't fuck it up. You really can't. You either learn a lesson of, yes, this worked great, and I'm going to put that in my pocket, or nope, it didn't work right now. I'm going to save that for later. Everything is just a research session. Every launch, every post, every offer is just gathering data for what works well for you in this season. And that's the caveat of being an entrepreneur, is like every season changes. So it requires us to always come up with new ideas, and it requires us to like think differently and stay on top of things instead of just doing the same cycle of like, I'm going to launch a model call once a quarter and fill up my books. That's boring, and your audience is bored of that too. Okay, so we did that. Okay, last slide. Are you guys ready? We're doing good. If you have no idea where to start and you're like, here, this framework feels really great, but I don't even know what I'm doing or where I'm going, I love to reverse engineer, and it's something that helps my chaotic brain. So, what is the big goal? And that could look like, how many sessions do you want to shoot this year? Maybe it's 100, maybe it's 75. Look at how many you've done, and then look at how many more you need by December 31st or whenever you're done shooting. And then you're like, okay, if by December 31st I want to do this and I want to do a Black Friday in November, schedule in, work backwards from that calendar to be like, okay, here's where I need to put my serves. Here's where I need to do offline and online marketing. Work backwards instead of building it out forward. So instead of starting on the 9th and saying, let's do a serve, I would start at the beginning of the next month and work backwards. That's how I do all of my goal setting. I reverse engineer it. Instead of creating a stepping stone to an unknown destination, I'm starting with a destination and creating the path. Does that make sense? So what's your big goal? And then how are we going to get there? Not, what are we working towards? What are we working towards? I don't know. Let's just throw offers out. Start with the big goal and then break it down and work backwards, okay? Also, I didn't put this on the calendar, but this would go into these regular places in here. offline marketing. So networking events, going to local businesses and talking about yourself as an entrepreneur, going to your chamber of commerce, attending other people's open houses. So fall, at least here in Indiana, there's a lot of vendor markets and like pop-up markets. I love to mingle with the small businesses, like the ladies who make bath bombs and sell soaps. I'm always like, "Oh my gosh, I would love to give my clients this." And they're like, "What are your clients?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm a boudoir photographer. Like, here's my group. Would love to have you." And then I buy something from them and I take a picture of my little bath bomb set and I tag them in my group that night. And I'm like, "I met the sweetest soul at this vendor event." It's not saying like, "Hey, spend thousands of dollars with me, but it is saying, "Ooh, we have a very similar audience. My ideal clients would love this." Shout them out, tag them on your Instagram stories, all of that. So, reverse engineer, big goals Black Friday. You're going to create your serves leading up to Black Friday, map everything out, offline marketing, online, strategically plan that in person event near a big butts and seat launch. That way, you're doing that in person event sandwich. Okay, so now, 1 second. I wanna know, how do we feel? How is it going? I know that was a lot of information all at once. Are we feeling good? Did this give you guys ideas? Do you feel motivated? You can let me know in the comments real quick. I feel good. I was talking a bunch. I'm ramped up. I love strategy. It's my favorite. Okay, comments. Feeling good. I've got ideas. We've got clarity. Okay, this is amazing. So, this is when. This is when to launch, and I know it's not as easy as just like, "Here, tell me when to launch." I wasn't gonna come on here and tell you, "Launch on the 1st and the 15th of each month." It's setting yourself up to serve, and then sell, and you compare each serve based on the type of offer that it is. Let me read this just to make sure with me doing Halloween party and Black Friday, I'm good to start the party right now. And then on the first, start announcing Black Friday. Yes. So, what I would do if you're feeling frisky, you could send an email out to any of your ladies who do the in person event and give them 72-hour pre sale to your Black Friday offer and go ahead and get them booked in. So if you're doing your in-person event in October and it's not gonna be within, like, 2 weeks of Black Friday, I would give them first dibs, or you could create a completely separate offer for them, but since it's only a month away, I wouldn't do an offer that they're gonna be disappointed in if Black Friday rolls around and they're like, "Oh, that's a bigger discount." So to keep it safe, I would just send out an email. So when you guys do in-person events, make sure they're registering somewhere, like Square or something, with their email, so you have their ticket and you have their email. You can send them an offer with a fast action bonus of, like, a 72-hour opportunity for them to book in their Black Friday session before it opens up to the public. And normally with Black Friday, like, it's limited spots. So you could be like, "I'm so grateful you took the time on your Friday night to come out to my studio. I absolutely loved our group. I'm gonna give you guys first dibs to come hang out with me at your own session. You've got until, Monday morning to check out." So that's what I would do, Jessica, just because if you're doing it for Halloween, that's still enough of a gap that you could just give them first dibs and not have to create an entirely different offer. Does that help? Yeah, perfect. Okay. This was super helpful, a little overwhelming because I feel like I'm starting from zero, but so, so helpful. That's okay. If you're starting from zero, let's go over to your reverse engineer and you can just take some time. I would give yourself, here's the other thing people don't talk about. I feel like we're in all these Facebook groups and we see people who are like, "I booked 90 sessions and like I'm having a $12 million year." And it's like, okay, I'm just trying to get like my next booking. I would sit down and give yourself the time. So every month I have an hour-long session with myself, me in a Word document, and I just brain dump all of my content ideas, all of the different types of offers that I want to do. So this would be this brain dump, this identify, I call it the identify strategy session with myself. Is it boring? Sometimes it is. Is it hard to sit down and make yourself do the work? It is. because we see everybody else just celebrating and having a good time. But success comes from compounded consistency. So if you guys could start each month with an identify strategy session with yourself, that's going to be incredible. Okay, you guys, this was amazing. If you want to keep going with me, I've got basically 3 spaces that you can go. Most of you know what BTS is. We have a weekly training, super amazing. I do one every week. We go live. It's super fun. If you're in BTS now and you want more things like today and you want Zoom calls where you can ask me questions and do more coaching and like personalized support, I get to know the nitty gritty of your business. That would be Dominate. That's our mini mind. We start October 7th. Basically, it's for anybody who's doing 180,000 or less a year. So if you're not at consistent 5, 10, or 15K months, Dominates for you. If you're already doing over 180,000 and you're trying to get to like 20, 30, 40, 50, 60K months and above, Prox is for you. That's our mastermind. So that's for like deepening your message, evolving your impact. Dominate would be finding your voice, learning how to organically market, learning how to create these launches that don't overwhelm you, things like that. So that's just your little infographic because I've got people in my inbox asking, where do I go? Which way is up? Which way is down? Where should I be? This was actually a Dominate training this month that I opened up that outsiders could come in and learn from this. So during Dominate, you guys just get freebie access to these things. And I base it off of what was needed. This workshop was not on the schedule. It was not planned until people in Dominate were like, tell me when to post. And I was like, let me just make a training out of this because we all need to hear this. All right. Thank you so much, you guys. This was fun. This is super amazing. And look, we didn't even go over time that long. I did good. I'm going to render this. So Zoom, it'll take a little bit to render and upload it. I'll put a link in the Facebook group. You guys can have the link in that group. That way you can watch it. If you guys are in Dominate, it'll just be uploaded to your Dominate portals. You guys can watch the replay. But I hope you found a bunch of golden nuggets in here that one, soothed your soul when it comes to marketing, and two, gave you a bunch of ideas on when to launch these things. So that is a wrap. Enjoy your guys' Friday night. My DMs are always open. You can just shoot me a message on Facebook or Instagram if you have questions on where you belong or where you should be. But otherwise, you guys are good to go, okay? Bye. Thanks so much.